My dear friends, these days are days which mean different things to different people. Christmas is willy-nilly something that affects every stratum of society. It is something which collocates us, like this gospel, in our roots, our geography, our chronology, our family, and what we belong to. We miss people at Christmas. I was in the hours of night reflecting on this issue of life, of this issue of receiving the torch in the race, as in the Olympic Games, receiving it from those who've handed on the spark of life from eventually Adam, hanging on to it in the case of those who choose not to transmit it through giving their energy to the Lord until death, and then of course becoming extinct. Or in the case of those who choose to perpetuate their spark of life to the next generation. It concerns many of you here. And it's a blessing always to have noise in church, because noise is life, and who wants to preach to corpses? So never be afraid of having children in church. But I was thinking about all that Christmas meant in past years, and what it means to you little ones now. Is there not a warmth, a consolation in the nest, knowing that we belong, that we are cared for, that we are safe, and how important it is that children grow up in that security? I was looking at things and I came across this. It is the new translation of the Bible in our own language, in Welsh, which was published in 1988, which remembered when it came out 4 centuries previously in 1588. This was the new one, and I was given it as a present by my family. But then, still in the pages of this is something which nearly moved me to tears. It's this. A letter which has remained there all these years. Of course, the pen that was there is still at home, but the finger is now in the grave. Dad was good at writing letters. This one, for some reason, is still in the Bible. I was a monk at the time. Now, this made me think about a lot of things. What is paternity? What is handing on? Not just life, but also, in a sense, grace. We form our progeny. We influence those who come from us. Hence the huge responsibility that we bear in the model that we give. A bad word, a bad vibe even, is something which a child will pick up and imitate. But there is more. Would you like a little story? It's true. One day, I was in the monastery in France, and my brother came to see me. We were talking away, just the two of us, about lots of things. And because he was working in the BBC, he had also his machine with him, and he was recording some of the conversation, but that's another story. However, one thing happened, and it upset us a lot. Dad was not well. He was phoning home every night. Dad was going down. So what did he do? He whizzed home and cancelled the rest of the holiday. I sent a little letter home. It was this, in Welsh. When the Lord is knocking at the door, it's a good thing to get the house in order. Dad was in hospital and we were losing him. He turned over and picked up that little note. It registered, and the message came back, thanks for that. Now, Dad was a good man, but not regular. He was generous to the chapel, but not regular. That mattered. And I've been talking to the novice master about it. And you know what he said? Remember St. Catherine of Siena. Pense à moi, et moi je penserai à toi et au tien. Think of me, and I will think of thee and of thine. Okay, hand over Dad. What happened? He was about to peter out into the beyond. And just in the nick of time, they got to the problem and immediately reversed the treatment and called him back to life. He was already completely delirious. What happened? He was given 10 more years rather than 10 minutes. And do you know what happened? He came back on track big time and became a pillar of the chapel and wrote its history. 10 years down the line, what happened? I was called back from the monastery. Dad was this time going down, big time. He went safely this time, with 10 years' merit, into the arms that gave him life, and from him us. And he was buried, and we put on his grave, in Welsh, "In your light we see light." And as we closed his eyes, there was no longer a presence in that body, only a little heat left. But there was serenity returned, no more pain on the forehead, because it was atrocious, the pain of parting physically. He was home. And do you know what happened? When he was being buried, the chapel was full to capacity. And can you imagine a chapel full to capacity with polyphonic hymns going, raising the roof and suggesting a little bit of what Dad perhaps is hearing in the family of time. The chant of the angels, polyphony without faults, that is what we were made for. And Christmas is different, perhaps, in the beyond, and need not be sad here on earth if we've handed on somebody safely to the one that gave us life on low. I just finish. Where do you fit into this? Make sure that your family is a nest of warmth. Everything you say and do at home has an impact on those around you. And every word that you say which hurts is written on your copybook. Matthew 12:36. Every idle word we will have to reply for. I leave you. We have a choice. We can be, as we go through life, transmitters of healing and warmth, or emitters of pain, harshness, and oppression. We have one innings, only one. Leave a good memory, heal, love, and make Christmas, yes, in the deepest level, a time of joy. For joy is made of peace, not of tinsel or presents.